In this video, we will delve into how Israel systematically plans to neutralize heavy weaponry, including advanced anti-air defense systems and ammunition depots. We'll look into what caused this mini earthquakes, with shockwaves that can be felt and heard 800 kilometers across the Middle East. The IDF plans to expand Golan Heights buffer zones, which can be divided into 3 different phases of safe zones. More details all in the video ahead. Syria possesses approximately 24 S-300 air defense missile systems with an estimated total cost of around $20 billion. The S-300 is designed to engage multiple aerial threats, including fighter jets, cruise missiles, and ballistic missiles at a range of up to 200 kilometers. For instance, it can effectively target and neutralize 4th-generation fighter aircraft such as the F-16 Fighting Falcon, a versatile and widely used multirole fighter jet, or the F-15 Eagle, a highly maneuverable, twin-engine, all-weather tactical fighter developed by the United States. Neutralizing these air defense systems would drastically alter the balance of power in the region. By eliminating the threat posed by the Russian S-300, the IDF would gain uncontested air dominance over Syria. Such a development would provide Israel with greater freedom to conduct aerial operations, particularly in sensitive areas like the Golan Heights, a region of strategic and territorial importance. Israel's actions in the Golan Heights consist of 3 main phases, utilizing airstrikes by advanced fighter jets such as the F-15 and F-16 to neutralize designated targets effectively. In this map, we can show you guys the different stages. Israel initiated what we can call first phase of its plan to establish a safe zone in southern Syria. The second phase, currently in progress, focuses on creating a 40-kilometer buffer zone beyond the Golan Heights. This zone is closely monitored by Israeli forces and serves as an additional layer of protection aimed at reducing the threat of infiltration or attacks by hostile groups operating in the region. Finally, in the third phase, or overarching goal of the safe zone strategy, is to establish a secure and effective buffer zone that extends well beyond the range of small mortar attacks. This would provide Israel with a significant defensive advantage, ensuring a safer environment for its border communities and military operations. But why is Israel so anxious and vigilant about potential attacks, particularly given that Syrian President Bashar al-Assad had previously lost control of large portions of the region? The geopolitical dynamics shifted dramatically after the October 7 attacks by Hamas, which altered the strategic calculus in the Middle East. The surprise nature of the attack demonstrated how even a moderately armed rebel group using motorcycles and light weaponry could create significant disruption and panic. For the Israeli Defense Forces, this underscored the importance of maintaining strong defensive measures and preventing any possibility of similar threats emerging from its northern front. The IDF are particularly wary of the rebels gaining access to rockets and ammunition, which could escalate the conflict and threaten Israeli security. In a series of precision airstrikes, Israeli fighter jets targeted key military sites in Syria. These included missile launchers located in the 107th barracks within the Hama area and weapon depots situated in the Tartus countryside. One of the most notable strikes occurred in northwestern Syria near the city of Tartus. Reports indicate that Israeli forces hit a weapons depot, resulting in a massive explosion that created a giant mushroom-shaped fireball visible for miles. The aftermath of the strike was dramatic, with the sheer force of the explosion resembling a mini earthquake, recording measuring 3.1 on the Richter scale. In short, they did not use any advanced weapon but used the usual bunker buster bomb. Let's take a look at how the Israel Defense Forces have conducted approximately 400 strikes targeting key military installations and infrastructure across Syria. These operations have included strikes on airfields, military vehicles, anti-aircraft weapon systems, and arms production facilities, some of which are suspected of being involved in the development of chemical weapons. The strikes have primarily focused on strategic locations such as Damascus, Homs, Tartus, and Palmyra. One of the most critical targets was the Soviet-era missile boats docked at the naval port of Latakia. The IDF viewed these vessels as a significant potential threat to Israeli security, given their proximity to Israel's coastline. Let's take a look at why Israel is attacking Syria, starting with Scenario 1. These strikes are part of a broader campaign, with the Israeli military reporting that it has carried out more than 400 airstrikes against military assets belonging to the Bashar al-Assad regime. These operations have targeted locations in Damascus, Homs, Tartus, Latakia, and Palmyra. The strikes are reportedly aimed at neutralizing threats and preventing the transfer of advanced weaponry to hostile groups. Israel asserts sovereignty over certain territories it captured during the 1967 Six-Day War, including the Golan Heights. However, this claim is widely disputed by Arab nations and the broader international community, which generally regard these areas as occupied territories under international law. One of the key elements of Israel's strategy in the region involves the establishment and maintenance of a buffer zone, formerly known as the Area of Separation. This demilitarized zone was established as part of the 1974 ceasefire agreement between Israel and Syria, following the Yom Kippur War. The buffer zone serves to physically separate Israeli and Syrian forces, reducing the risk of direct military confrontation. In recent years, the dynamics around the buffer zone have evolved. As Syrian government forces have withdrawn from areas adjacent to the buffer zone, extremist rebel groups have become more active. Israel views these groups as a significant threat and has taken measures to prevent attacks originating from their positions. The creation and enforcement of the buffer zone are thus critical to Israel's broader security strategy in the region. This strategy aims not only to counter the immediate threats posed by extremist groups, but also to limit the influence of Iran and Hezbollah, which are closely allied with the Assad regime. In Scenario 2, Israeli planes carried out airstrikes targeting multiple major Syrian military airbases, significantly damaging critical infrastructure. The strikes focused on airbases housing dozens of advanced aircraft, including MiG-29 and Sukhoi Su-22 jets. The targeted facilities include Kamishli Air Base in northeastern Syria, Shinshar Base in the countryside of Homs, and Akraba Airport southwest of Damascus. These airstrikes were strategically aimed at neutralizing threats posed by the Sukhoi Su-22 aircraft, which are classified as fighter bombers. These planes pose a significant danger to Israel's F-16 fighters and the security of the Golan Heights, where they could potentially counteract any advancements by the Israel Defense Forces. Additionally, the Israeli Air Force struck helicopter bases that house attack rotor crafts, such as the Mi-24 and Mi-28 Havoc. These helicopters play a critical role in providing close air support for Syrian ground troops, using their formidable firepower to suppress enemy forces and bolster efforts against rebel advances. In Scenario 3, the Israel Defense Forces targeted sea-to-land missiles from their Navy ships and launched a precise strike on the ports of Al-Baida and Latakia. These ports are one of Bashar al-Assad's Syrian Navy that can still be highly effective if used against Israel. At the time of the attack, 15 vessels were docked at the ports. The assault caused widespread devastation, completely destroying or severely damaging all these ships. It is believed that the majority of the targeted vessels were Osa-class missile boats, known for their fast speed and heavy armament. These vessels, once considered a formidable naval asset, now lie in ruins, preventing the rebels from using them against Israel. The reason behind the Israeli action is likely rooted in their desire to neutralize these ships, given the strategic implications. As seen on the map, this coastline is within proximity to Syrian-held territories, and just to the south lies Israel. Despite being from the Soviet era, these missile boats remain a potent threat, capable of inflicting significant damage on Israeli naval assets. In a hypothetical scenario, these vessels could depart from the Latakia naval port and reach the Israeli coastline within a few hours, potentially evading detection and launching a surprise attack on the IDF Navy or its naval ports. We also make original engineering content, so please subscribe and hit the notification bell for more videos.